This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining. And I'm usually at the office now, but the ice was getting kind of bad, so me and Reagan came on back up the mountain, so we'd be at home, and I let the others go home. But this morning was an incredible morning for us at Liberty. I believe with all my heart that that we got a lot better today, and coaches, our recruiting staff, our evaluators, our administration, academics, facilities, everyone played a huge part in this because it was recruiting like no other season that I'd ever experienced before. I just, with the COVID restrictions and not being able to get in homes to visit and not being able to have official visits on campus and truly get to evaluate like normal and get to know them get to know us. It was very, very challenging and different. And I don't believe that our staff and our help that we get from everyone on campus, I just don't believe that I don't think we could have done any better. And I'm just really, really pleased as we went through again this morning. Every single kid that we signed, watched their cut-ups again this morning, and FaceTimed on the big screen with them and their families early this morning. I just think we hit a home run with the type of kid that we signed, and also the character that they bring, and obviously, what they're going to add to us depth-wise on the field. So just really, really pleased, and just can't thank Ian and all the support we get from our administration and Dr. Prevost, our IT people, and our video people, and everybody that pitched in to really sell Liberty and who we are. Everyone just did an amazing job, and it was a total group effort. And I've never recruited quite like this. I would Zoom and FaceTime with them every Sunday, and then during practice have them on the phone, and it was just an interesting time. And I miss getting in the homes. I miss having them on campus. But again, I think we killed it, and I think you'll see the product on the field next year, that we're a much deeper football team.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for Coach Freeze at this time. Use the raise hand option, top of your screen. We'll start with Travis Wells, WDBJ 7.
Hey, Coach, you alluded to the COVID restrictions. I know in recruiting, for the most part, coaches want to and like to make their own evaluations rather than rely on, say, recruiting services or word of mouth. How much outside the comfort zone was that for you, and how much did you have to rely on, the recommendations of others in this process over the last 10, 12 months?
It's some evaluations at some positions I'm comfortable doing off of tape. I wish that wasn't the only thing. You like to get in homes and get to know them, find out how much they love ball. And, you normally have 6 visits with kids, and you can really find out now, this kid's talented, but he really doesn't love ball, and he really doesn't love the grind of the work. And those are things that I think are very difficult to judge with the current restrictions that we had. And then there's other positions that you're very uncomfortable. I really like to see the quick twitch positions and quarterback. I really want somebody to be able to go see them live and make sure we're not being fooled by what we may see on film. So it was a combination, O-line, D-line, man. I think linebacker wise, you probably can see that what you see on film is usually fairly accurate, as long as you know what type of competition that you're seeing. Then there's others that I really would like to have more in-person evaluations. So we did everything we could, and certainly got a lot of people's opinions, and really tried to get to know the kids to see if they really loved the atmosphere, the culture that we want to have here, along with the way we want to approach our work. And I feel like we really did a good, thorough job in all aspects with the restrictions that we had.
Thank you.
Next, let's go to John Manson from the Sea of Red, then we'll get to Damian.
Coach, you mentioned the quarterback. You got Nate Hampton had a lot of offers. How comfortable are you with his evaluation? What do you think of your team?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm always very uncomfortable. I've never signed a quarterback before without seeing them live, and that's so that's probably one of the more uncomfortable positions. But here's what I know about Nate: Nate is 6'6" and can run and can throw, and is a high IQ football guy, and his family and him fit with our culture here. And I think he's going to be a heck of a player. And then Kent, obviously, I leaned on Kent a lot in that. And we kind of got it down to 3 or 4 quarterbacks early that we really felt like were full goes for us. And, Nate ended up being who we really, really wanted. And fortunately, he came with us early and stayed with us. And I just think he's going to be an outstanding athlete at quarterback. And I think with Kent's, he's got to change his mechanics just a little bit, but there's times on film that he shows he can really speed up his mechanics and function in the RPO world and all of that. And it's exciting to have that type of kid. We have liked to see him live, of course, but I think Ken and I are very comfortable with him and think he's going to be a heck of a player.
Next, let's go to Damian Sordelette from the Lynchburg News in Advance.
You 2 years ago, when you were having your first signing day press conference over at the LAC, you said, you guys are going to be in the running for some game changers who have some Power 5 offers, and you're not going to win every one of them, but if you can win 1 or 2, that can help build a class. You get that with Christian Zachary and Casey Seegers, both defensive players. Defensive line's always a position you guys want to improve on, and linebackers one that desperately need to fill. How are those 2 guys stacking up in terms of helping this class out with the raw abilities that they have and the amount of Power 5 offers they had coming in?
Man, I tell you, Christian Zachary is, I guess he's the highest rated recruit in Liberty history. And I just turn on his film. I watched it again this morning and could just smile, and think, man, this dude's pretty special. And he plays the game so hard. He practices hard. And, and he's a really, really dynamic fit for Liberty, and certainly had many, many great offers. And we're fortunate. I think defensively we changed the 2 deep roster considerably more than we did on offense today, and that's what was needed. We were very thin, and I think you add Christian and then add Casey, which was a late. We had to work hard this weekend and this past week to get him convinced to come with us. It was one of those, relational. We had offered him really, really early. He came. Luckily, he had come to campus before COVID hit, because he was one of our top backers on the board, and then he got all the Power 5 offers, and obviously committed to Texas A&M. And for whatever reason, things started not to work out there. And one of my former GAs, is at A&M, and so through relationships, we got to get in it probably earlier than the others. And man, we just had to work really hard. We were on the phone with he and his father, great father, and lost his mom when he was young, and he and dad are really close, and they're from Charlotte. And so we just spent an enormous amount of time trying to win them this week, and went all the way really to last night with us on Zoom and talking ball and just trying to get them to a comfort level. And this morning got the good news that he decided to come with us. And it's another one you put the tape on. It's he's going to be a 230-pound will linebacker that can run. And they change those two kids, not just on the field, but I think in the locker room also.
Coach, I've got one real quick. You talk about having to work hard over the weekend to get him. I mean, what has the process been like here? What kind of questions are you getting from recruits this year as opposed to maybe years past? Is it any different with the pandemic and without home visits?
Most of the ones that we signed today, we've been, Zooming with them every single week and giving them virtual tours and academic meetings. And we've done an official visit as much as we can, through the social media, the virtual world. So, all the questions that they would typically ask about dorms and everything else, we give them the virtual tour and they can ask the questions. So every single thing that we have done that we would do on an official visit, we try to do in the virtual world. And so the normal questions apply. So they've all been asked. There's really nothing that we've been asked that you wouldn't be asked on an official visit. So it was pretty normal with the line of questioning. And obviously the questions that always come up are about, the coaching staff and their careers, and are they looking to leave? And, all of those happen at every single place that you've been at if you've had success, because, coaches tend to do that some. So those are the same questions that you get. Were pretty normal in the virtual world.
Let's go to Ed Lane from the Fast Lane at CBS Sports Radio, and then we'll get to John again.
Hugh, you touched on this just a moment ago as far as relationships with other coaches in the Power Five. For you, how much has that been an asset, and do you believe that will be an asset for Liberty in the talent acquisition pool, both with grad transfers and with guys that maybe thought they had offers at other schools, but because of the numbers crunch with the NCAA allowing the extra year of eligibility, that Liberty's roster might benefit from that?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think the success that, I was fortunate to have at the Power 5 level and the relationships that you'll form there are always going to pay, dividends in some way, hopefully, to our program here. And, it's not just me, it's the other staff also, getting Skylar from Washington, who's, has had 160 tackles and is a ball hawk, and Corey Batoon has a great relationship out there, and able to get him, and then Bruce's connections to Arizona for us to get TJ out of Utah, which so all of those relationships, and then mine with some of the A&M coaches, and I think they're invaluable. And listen, now we purposely. There's a strategy to most everything I ever do, and I try to think through and make sure that I have a plan for everything. And, we purposely, are only signing 18 kids, and we could have signed more, but, I just still think there's going to be a lot of moving parts, and there's going to be, other people that we might add with the ones that we're strategically holding back through the transfer portal and through other late qualifiers or people that didn't come out. And don't forget, there's a lot of states that haven't played their high school season yet. And Virginia is one of them. There's some hidden gems out there, and I wanted to have some room at the end of the day to make sure we weren't cornered and couldn't continue to take people. So we strategically signed that number. We're very fortunate to get all 18 in today, and it was a home run.
Next, let's go to John.
Coach, you mentioned Seeger, your linebacker, got two other guys there as well, Ahmad Walker and Rashad Harding, the transfer from Louisiana Pro. How big were those three signings there for this class? I know how much linebacker you want to add more depth there.
Can't wait to get to spring ball. I can't wait to get Rashad. So we'll have Rashad, and we'll have Ahmad, and we'll have Casey. Those are the three linebackers, right? And all three of them will be here. And I can't wait. That room is going to look so different. And just go put Rashad's first film on, and he's playing Florida State, and he tackles Cam Akers, who's the best running back I've ever recruited out of high school. Was Cam Akers, and you watch how he plays in those games, and listen, this is a mature man. I love talking with him on the phone. He is all about business. He knows what he wants. He's ready to grind at it and get here. And we just got to get him here and get him with Dom and get him in great shape. He's a heck of a player. Expect him to step in and play right away in Anthony Butler's spot. Obviously, if Anthony decides to move on or stay, it's still kind of up in the air. But boy, if we have both of them, I'm gonna feel really, really good. And then go put Ahmad's film on. I think he's one of the better high school linebackers that I've recruited, and I think he's going to play right away as a freshman next fall. Heck of a player from a great program in Georgia, and just makes plays all over the field and handing the ball in critical downs. He's a running back too that can get it done. He's just a football player and one of the more solid tacklers that I've seen on tape.
Damien, go ahead.
Hugh, we've seen throughout this recruiting period, a lot of high school seniors decommitting because the scholarship numbers just don't add up because of guys returning. And how tricky was that to balance, and how much did it hurt to have to go back to a coach or to a player and say, we can't honor the scholarship offer because of the numbers, because of the NCAA rules and all that stuff?
Well, it was. I shared with Ian that's one of the more difficult things that we were trying to manage, and we're fortunate to be at a place that for the allotted year that the NCAA is giving us to have more than the 85. That we're fortunate to be at a place that's supportive of that, but at the same time, you also understand and I don't know that every high school coach understands this completely, and I get it because it's hard for me to understand everything sometimes too. That we're getting ready to undertake, but there's going to be a lot of dynamics that happen over the next 2 seasons that this class will affect because in the following season you got to be back at the 85, and you just can't put yourself in a position where you're going to have so much attrition that it changes your football team so drastically. And so there's a lot of things that went into that. And unfortunately, some of it was us having to, tell people, listen, we just, because of the number of kids that are wanting to return to our program and the future roster management issues that we're going to have, unfortunately, we're not going to have space in this early signing period for you. Now we'll see what the following signing period has and what our numbers look like in that. But we did have to have some of those conversations, and they're not ever fun. Nor I don't like to have those, but we were kind of all of us are in different times, and it was I think it was necessary and unfortunate for sure in some cases.
Coach, what does TJ Green give you at running back?
I think he's probably, obviously we've had good success at running back in our 2 years here. And obviously you're pleased, but you're always trying to improve. And I think he on film is probably the most complete back that we've had. I compare him very similar to Frankie Hickson. I thought Frankie was very complete. And I see TJ in that same mold that does everything really well, catches, runs, blocks, and is a mature kid. So I think he really is, depending on what, again, J-Mac and Peyton do. And, of course, we got some good returners also in that room, but adding an older guy in there to add to the competition, we really felt was needed.
John, go ahead.
Coach, it was obviously strategic for you guys to go after transfer. You got 4 Division I transfers, 2 JUCO guys. How much do you think that'll help you guys next year to add that? You still get the young talent in, but also get some experienced guys as well.
We wanted guys to come in and play right away at certain positions, and those were really safety and linebacker on defense. That we needed some guys that we knew could play, whether they're high school or whether they're transfer, and we got a combination. But at both of those positions, I feel like we have guys that can play. I mean, Rocket, I think Rocket's a heck of a football player, and if he'd have played this year, if they'd have played at Saddleback this year, I think we'd had a hard time holding on to him. And excited to get him here at safety also, and Skyler obviously at safety also, and Jemerson. I think he's a heck of a corner, and we need one more corner. We're in the market for one more at corner for sure. But those transfers, along with the high school talent at those particular positions. Now, look, I think we had a home run at D-line too with those 3. But if you're talking about real immediate needs, it was definitely linebacker and safety and corner. And I think we've satisfied that, except for maybe one more corner.
Damien, go ahead.
Hey, Hugh, you mentioned the questions that you got from these recruits during the entire process. That included, are you staying? Are you going? And Sunday, national media all said, you were a leading candidate for Auburn's opening when Gus got fired. What was that like Sunday, and what was that like talking to those recruits and reaffirming to them that you were staying at Liberty?
Yeah, that's never a good time for stuff like that at the media. That was an uncomfortable Saturday. I mean, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or something. Those days right before signing day on what I think's our best class ever that we've signed with the 18 kids. So that was kind of uncomfortable. And at first, I want to say, you never like to see people lose their jobs ever. I don't think that's I'm not made that way to rejoice over anyone doing that, because when you're in this business, how much hurt is involved in that and how many families are involved. And then you add to it when it's one of your dear friends, it's obviously unsettling, and you just hurt. I've been through that, and I know what it's like to lose a job, and it's not much fun. And so, man, my initial call was to Gus, and had a great conversation with him. And he's one of the best to do it now, and he cares about his kids, and he coaches it the right way. And he's the type of coach you want in this business. So, that was the initial thing. And then is you want to just make sure your friend's okay, and he'll be fine. But, there's a lot of other families that are, affected by it. And then you get to what the national media starts saying. And, let me say, there's so many people here that the reason that is being said is twofold. It's, I was fortunate to beat people like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and Dan Mullen, and that are in that league, and with probably a lesser roster than what they had. And then you come here and have success, and all the people that pitch into that here, deserve so much of the credit, and mostly our kids and our players. So that's a compliment, and it's humbling. But there's so many people that deserve credit for you being mentioned, and it brings some notoriety to Liberty, but it also brings the negative side of it also. And I was very clear when I was on ESPN Game Day that Liberty has been so good to me, and I love it here on the mountain, and my family loves it here on the mountain, and it would take something really, really, really special for me to consider, leaving here. And I meant that, and I meant it to this day, and it's going to take something that makes my heart flutter with great excitement. And to this point, to be very candid with you, and I'm not saying that the other places that have come open, I don't know if their heart flutters about me or not, really. That's not for me to say. But to this point, man, nothing's made my heart flutter more than just staying here on the mountain and building this program. And so I'm thankful for that. And I've been as transparent as I can be. And, when that day comes, the first people I'll talk to would be my AD and our kids. But I'm fine with my heart being totally content here. I'm at peace and I love what we're doing here, love what we're about, and thankful that I'm on it here right now.
Have you had to turn off your Twitter notifications because of everyone blowing up your feed with Tennessee and Auburn fans?
I don't even have a notification turned on to begin with, so I don't know if I know how to turn the notification on. I probably don't need to.
All right, let's go to Travis, and then we'll take a couple more.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, is there any kind of update you can give us on the bowl situation and where your preparation kind of stands with that so far?
Well, we had our first practice scheduled today, but due to the ice and stuff, and probably because of safety, we pushed it back till tomorrow. We're very confident that we're going to get a bowl. I have no idea where or who, but I do think, in talks with Ian, that we feel very comfortable that we're going to play in one. But that's really all I know. And it'll be kind of uncomfortable preparing because I think it's going to be a quick turnaround because I don't think we will know until Sunday is my best guess. And then we'll have to hurry up and hopefully we get one that's maybe the 26th through the 29th and not the 23rd. That will be, we'll do it, and it will be the most comfortable, but hopefully, that they'll put us in one of those.
Let's go to John.
Coach, it came out last week that you had tested positive for COVID. Seems like you're doing fine. How was it going through that process?
Yeah, that was what was probably harder on me than the COVID was this isolation. I don't like that any. I don't like to stay inside. Period. And that was my wife she's a rule follower, so she was really on me about staying in my room in my part of the house, and so I was fortunate in hearing a lot of stories about people that had COVID. I was fortunate. I did not experience the fever or the breathing issues. I did have 2 difficult nights of body aches and pains, and I lost taste and smell. But those 2 nights were really all I experienced. And I will say, for months now, starting back in December, probably, I have been flooding my body with vitamin C and D and zinc, and I mean like 10,000 units of vitamin C a day. And so I think I got to give. I hope that's part of it. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
All right, let's go to Damian, then we'll wrap it up with Ed.
Hugh, the offensive line, you got 3 really good ones. One, Harrison Hayes, who was the first verbal, and then Andrew Dare and Mason Bundy. It seems like you guys are set at offensive line for at least a few years. Is that a staple that we'll see under your staff of just having plenty of offensive linemen ready to go?
Yeah, we want to, you got to win in the trenches. You got to win in the O-line, D-line. And I hate I'm not talking about everybody enough today, in this class, but I'm glad you brought up the 3 O-linemen. I think, Harrison was our first commit. He's hugely responsible for helping us put this class together. Love his feet. I love the way he finishes. I mean, just turn his tape on. He's long. He's got a sister this year, so it's going to be a family affair. And thrilled with him. And then Adair's a big old barrel-chested inside guy that's going to knock people off the ball for sure. And Bundy's going to be a big, long offensive tackle that probably could go both ways. So we're really pleased with those. And I think most of our O-linemen are coming back, and so that really gets us to the number that you want to have in an offensive line room. And excited about the future of that position for sure. And then defensive line, getting body and of course we talked about Christian, and then obviously we think we have a surprise coming this afternoon too. So that will help the D line even be even better.
Last one goes to Ed Lane.
Hugh, wrapping up with the bowl game opportunities, how crucial is it for everybody, from your staff to your players to the support staff, to be aligned in terms of wanting to play in a bowl game? We've seen opt-outs with other programs, and it would seem, this is where you can body slam me and you're next to GIF if you want. But it would seem, if you're not all aligned, that it's really hard to get people behind going through everything to play in a bowl game. So give us some insight into where your program is in terms of alignment.
Yeah, I'm very truthful, as you know, about, things like that. I don't know. I haven't been able to, because of my COVID, and then, getting out yesterday and then having this canceled. We had our first team meeting, today scheduled, and so I won't have it until tomorrow. But I think Dom and our strength staff have a good pulse. I know our administration and our coaching staff is totally aligned. And my sense is that a large percentage of our team is extremely excited about having our second ever bowl game. And anytime you get 150 people together, there's probably going to be some that are not quite as excited because of the current circumstances that we have, and, may have to be here over Christmas under kind of COVID restrictions to get ready to play. That's not ideal. That's not the way you would like to always do it. But, man, it's our second opportunity, and we're 2 for 2 in going to bowl games. I would find it very hard to believe that there wouldn't be a group that's excited to play, and those are the ones that will get ready. And I expect it to be a large percentage, but truthfully, I haven't been around them enough to get that exact pulse.
All right, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Coach. Thanks for everyone for being here. And Coach, congratulations on the success today.
Thank you so much. If I could, I just want to make sure. Let me look at my list, man. I do not want to leave anybody out. Oh, listen, how do you not talk about Stetson Moore? I mean, this guy is going to be a freak for us at tight end. One of my favorite moms I've ever recruited. I was talking to her last night, and she was at my favorite store down in Mississippi at Williams Brothers Stores. It's the only place that you can get your Cole Haans and your bologna in the world that I know. That's where I went to get my shoes and my bologna every time I was near there. And it's the most incredible place. You can get Levi's there, Cole Haans, Johnson Murphy's, and get your hoop cheese and your bologna. And I mean, it's an incredible place. And man, Miss Michelle and Stetson, this is a guy that in our tight end room we're gonna flex out. He's a matchup nightmare. Just go watch what he did to a lot of big time DBs this year in Mississippi JUCO play. And Amarian, man, dang, Cedar Hill, Texas, what a great program. One of the best programs in the nation. Long corner that we're getting out of high school. We talked about Rocket and Jalen. Talked about Rashad, Nate, TJ, Kutras, Tennessee Player of the Year towards ACL. And we talked him into waiting a year to come. So, man, we're just we're thrilled. Kylan Austin, receiver that I think's got a huge upside out of Baltimore, and can't wait to get him here. And I think we talked about everybody else other than maybe one that we hope to get this afternoon.